On World News tonight, forced evacuations in New Orleans, trying to get the water, the fires, and now the people out. Relief efforts are costing $500 million every day. Heart surgery in a Kmart parking lot, the one-of-a-kind mobile trauma center for hurricane victims. The scams that came quicker than the relief, targeting people who give money over the internet. Brian Ross investigates. And those gas prices. Oil company profits rising more than 50%. Are they taking Americans for a ride?
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight. Reporting from ABC News headquarters, Charles Gibson. And from the city of New Orleans, Bob Woodruff.
Good evening. The White House said today that it's looking for big solutions to big problems in the wake of Katrina. Well, they don't get much bigger than this. The Congressional Budget Office says 400,000 jobs were wiped out by the storm. The administration now estimates that rescue and relief operations are costing $500 million a day. President Bush today formally asked the Congress for $50 billion in hurricane relief, and that may turn out to be a down payment. And while everyone is talking about gas prices, a sober prediction, the government estimates that home heating oil bills will be up more than 70% this winter. Many massive numbers, many big problems. As for the situation on the ground, we go to ABC's Bob Woodruff in New Orleans again tonight. Bob?
Good evening, Charlie. While the costs of this disaster may be going up by the hour, the water here in New Orleans is going down, just perhaps not quite as quickly. City officials said today they now concur with the tests that we ran yesterday, showing that the bacteria levels in this water are 10 times higher than is safe. So the mayor has now ordered forced evacuations. The police chief says there are thousands of people here who want to leave voluntarily, but there are many, many others who don't. There are still thousands of people here, like Anthony Charbonnet, who refuse to leave.
I'm safe in here. I can be safe in here. Yeah. I can watch my house. I don't want to leave.
But by order from the mayor, police passed the word today that holdouts would be forced out.
You're refusing to open the doors or whatnot. Do what you gotta do.
Officials are warning residents that if they stay, they will get sick and could die.
People have to understand, it's not just a threat from criminals. You have an environmental threat that is real.
Today, the Centers for Disease Control called these waters extremely dangerous. With such high levels of bacteria, it should not touch the skin.
Please cooperate with the evacuation and leave, because this water is not going to be safe to drink or to be in anytime soon.
When forced evacuations will begin is unclear. Police officials acknowledged today it would certainly be bad public relations to be seen dragging citizens from their homes.
We're going to have to compel these people to leave the city. Now, how we do that, we've not established that as of yet.
In the badly flooded St. Bernard Parish, the parish president told us today he doesn't care how it looks. He'll do what it takes.
They're going to knock down doors?
If we got to, they're going to do whatever they need to do to get them out. It's for their best interest.
But there is no single authority here. There is a mixture of local police, National Guard, U.S. Army, even state fish and wildlife officers who said they work for the state, not the city or parish, and won't force people to leave, but they won't keep bringing them water or food either.
As far as making people leave, if they want to stay, we're going to let them stay. We're just going to tell them they're on their own after the day.
Police, open up! And if disease or persuasion doesn't force people out, the police soon will. About 1 million people have fled the hurricane zone. The federal government estimates about 235,000 are still in shelters. There's no accurate accounting about where the rest of them have gone. It is clear that such a massive migration over such a short period of time is creating very tough logistical problems for the cities and towns where these evacuees are ending up. We have 2 reports tonight. First, ABC's Nancy Weiner went to the small town of Livingston, Louisiana, where they are struggling to cope with all of these newcomers.
Livingston, Louisiana, population 1,500.
Eyes and James, right here.
Well, double that if you count the monster line for food stamps that snakes down the town's tiny main street and picks up again 2 blocks over.
I came yesterday at about 11, and they told us they weren't letting anybody else in line.
Few of these people have ever gotten food stamps before. None are from Livingston. For some, this is where their cars ran out of gas as they fled the hurricane zone. Others heard the line moves faster here. For construction worker Charlie Licciardi, Livingston is close to the hospital where his wife gave birth to a baby girl last night.
Nobody wants to get up and stand in this line, but it's for my baby and for my wife's sake, I know I need to press on.
Whatever's ours is yours.
Livingston's police officers, all 5 of them, are so overwhelmed they've pressed inmates into service.
MREs, they just open them and eat them.
We primarily have to concentrate on while they're in our town, while they're here in this god-awful line, that we do the very best for them we can.
Down the road, the town's only elementary school has taken in 30 new students. At Jean's grocery store, a third of the shelves are bare. All those food stamps.
Normally, food stamp applicants must show proof of a low income, but these people lost their pay stubs along with everything else, so social services is just taking their word for it.
Charlie Licciardi walked out with $400 for food.
I'm going to the unemployment office from here.
A local woman offered to show him the way. That's how it goes in small towns. Nancy Weiner, ABC News, Livingston, Louisiana.
There is a great deal of emergency medicine available to people, but what happens if you have a heart attack while you're living in a tent village? ABC's Mike Von Frem tonight on the one-of-a-kind mobile operating center that's been set up in Mississippi.
Storm victims in Bay St. Louis built Camp Katrina in the parking lot of their local Kmart. They've been living in makeshift tents for a week and are desperately trying to keep conditions sanitary.
If I had a piece of stone to go in there to help smack it on to get that soap out of there, it would work better.
They're doing the washing because I can't. I've got cancer and I can't do anything.
Patricia Gerald is suffering from breast cancer. Her home was one of thousands washed away here. She has no idea how long she'll be living on this hot asphalt. But on Monday, excellent medical care parked right next to her tent.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful.
100 doctors and nurses from North Carolina brought a level 1 trauma center, which they built inside this 18-wheeler.
You can handle actual surgery here?
We just did our first this morning.
And if people have a heart attack or something, you could deal with that?
We just had our first this morning.
Successful outcomes?
Absolutely.
The doctors and nurses say this looks and feels like a MASH unit because the medical conditions they're dealing with here are similar to a war zone.
There's no communication, there's no TV, there's no newspaper. How are they going to know? And I said, well, you watch the movies. If you build it, they will come. And it's happened.
And it is a lifeline for the people here who have lost everything.
I'm staying with my husband. I'm not going nowhere.
In the 3 days since the doctors arrived, they have treated more than 500 grateful storm victims. Mike Von Frem, ABC News, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
One more note tonight about that effort to help the million people who have been forced from their homes. The federal government said today that it will soon begin distributing $2,000 debit cards to every household that has been displaced by the hurricane. The cards will be good for everything except alcohol and tobacco. Charlie?
All right, Bob, and we'll get back to the effects of Katrina a little bit later in the broadcast. 2 other stories to mention. Major automobile recalls today. Ford recalled 3.8 million pickup trucks and SUVs, including the Ford Expedition and Bronco, the 5th largest auto industry recall in history. A cruise control switch is suspected of causing engine fires. And Toyota recalled almost 1 million pickups and SUVs because of concerns about the power steering system. In Iraq, an American held hostage for 10 months was rescued today. U.S. forces freed Roy Hallams from a farmhouse outside Baghdad. He was working for a Saudi food services company when he was seized at gunpoint. Information from an Iraqi prisoner led to his rescue. The kidnappers escaped. And outside the southern city of Basra, 4 American security guards were killed when a roadside bomb flipped their SUV. In Egypt today, a first. For the first time in the nation's history, the presidential election had more than one candidate. President Hosni Mubarak, who has ruled for 24 years, is expected to easily beat the 9 other candidates. 3,000 demonstrators marched in Cairo saying the election was rigged. When we come back, the huge charity effort and the scammers who have jumped all over this disaster. How to avoid getting ripped off over the internet. On the Price Watch, oil companies making huge profits. Are they benefiting from the hurricane? And at the end of the program from New Orleans, the people may be gone, but the spirit of a city lives on.
This is World News Tonight, brought to you by Advil.
My new grandson. He should always feel safe in my hands, arthritis pain or not. But these days, it's hard to know where to turn for relief of arthritis pain. So I talked to my doctor, and he recommended Advil. Even after 20 years, nothing has been proven more effective on tough pain. Not Tylenol, not Aleve. And it's gentle on my stomach. I trust Advil.
Advil for arthritis pain. Fast, strong, trusted.
You've waited, you've dreamed, and now it's finally back. Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster. The only time of year to enjoy all the shrimp you can eat. Don't miss Endless Shrimp right now, only at Red Lobster.
Pledge Multi-Surface Clean and Dust. Pledge beauty for wood and beyond.
For years, I have used Pledge on my wood surfaces. I can use Pledge Multi-Surface on a lot of different surfaces. General household cleaning products are not appropriate for wood. Look for Pledge. They're the perfect people to come up with this.
I am dedicated. I am disciplined. I am determined. And I'm a diabetic. And that's how I feel when I test with my meter, the Accu-Check Aviva.
The new Accu-Check Aviva system, designed to fill correctly and test right the first time, to make every strip count. The Accu-Check Aviva. Switch to the system that makes every strip count.
As an actress, I try to understand my character. But when it came to menopause, I didn't have a script to turn to. So I turned to my doctor. I asked about osteoporosis and menopausal symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats. I got the answers I needed. For me, being a woman isn't about playing a role. It's about playing it smart. Turn to your doctor or healthcare professional.
What cooks like butter, spreads like butter, and has a fresh dairy taste like butter without the cholesterol and high saturated fat? Smart Balance Buttery Spread. Smart Balance just received another Best Taste Award and is endorsed by professional chefs. It's the only spread with a patented balance of fats to help increase HDL good cholesterol and avoids trans fat naturally, not artificially as some spreads do. Smart Balance. You're going to love that buttery taste.
We are going to take a closer look this evening at charity and Hurricane Katrina. There has been an incredible outpouring of generosity by Americans, more than $550 million pledged so far by people and corporations. But the scam artists also are out in full force. They began scheming even before Katrina made landfall. Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
In the days before the hurricane hit, Internet fraud experts saw scammers registering dozens of websites with Katrina in the name.
Within 2 days after the hurricane hit, they actually put their content up and then send emails out to millions of people.
Including this email, which looks like a legitimate Hurricane Katrina plea from the Red Cross. It was sent to millions of Americans last weekend. There's the standard credit card information form used by the real Red Cross. The graphics and typeface are the same. And there's even the same security logo in the corner used by the real Red Cross.
So they're making you believe that this is a secured site and that it has been verified, when indeed, obviously, it has not.
An ingenious fake traced to Brazil with one final twist to fool contributors.
What happens when you click on donate, the information that you've entered actually gets sent to the third party. And then what happens is you get redirected to the real Red Cross website, which even makes it look more real.
Some 15 similar phony sites have been traced to Brazil, Korea, China, and the U.S. in the last few days. And the Red Cross has asked the FBI to investigate.
It's outrageous what they're doing to the American citizens who are giving their hard-earned money to help people who very desperately need their help. So there's no question in my mind that these are the lowest of the low.
People whose money and credit card numbers went to Brazil instead of the Red Cross may not know it for months, if ever. And Charlie, the Red Cross, says it never sends out email solicitations like these. If anyone gets one, consider it a fake.
All right, Brian Ross, our chief investigative correspondent. Scams notwithstanding, the public outpouring of support for Katrina's victims has been nothing short of extraordinary. At the Phoenix Salvation Army office, there was a 3-mile backup of people waiting to empty carloads of food and clothes. In Bethesda, Maryland, and other places, they were collecting backpacks full of school supplies and snacks. In New Mexico, the relief agencies got so much stuff so fast that today they cried, "Stop."
We are in the unique position here in New Mexico to actually be asking citizens to give us a 48-hour respite from non-cash donations.
Any toys?
Here in New York, a local businessman rented 10 trucks to take supplies to flood victims. Donations quickly filled them, and at least 5 more.
Here's a dollar for mine.
Kids across the country have set up lemonade stands and are getting serious money. This one in Cincinnati raised more than $1,600. These girls in San Diego, more than 1,000, selling lemonade.
The first customer came up and he just wanted to donate $100.
And the donations, they just keep coming. Our closer look for tonight. When we come back, huge profits for the big oil companies. Are they making money from misery?
Sometimes it's hard to remember my own grandson's name.
He had trouble doing even everyday things.
These problems may not be normal aging. They could be early signs of Alzheimer's disease. Talk to your doctor. Early treatment is important. Call now to get an information pamphlet, free from the makers of Aricept, the #1 prescribed Alzheimer's medication. It suggests signs to look for and how to talk to your doctor. If it is mild to moderate Alzheimer's, Aricept can help. It is well tolerated, but not for everyone. People at risk for stomach ulcers or who take certain other medicines should tell their doctors because serious stomach problems such as bleeding may get worse. Some people experience fainting. Common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, not sleeping well, muscle cramps, feeling tired, or not feeling hungry. In studies, these were usually mild and temporary.
Aricept is helping him do better.
Call 1-877-MEMORY-6. If it's Alzheimer's, Aricept can help.
Only one team will know victory on this great field today. But on the way home, we can all be winners. People, it's time for each of us to ask, how long is my warranty? This is the Kia Sedona with a 5-star crash safety rating and a 10-year warranty. There are guarantees in life. It's time for you to insist on yours.
A great minivan is everyone's right. The Kia Sedona, starting under 18 after cash back.
Our doctor said our cholesterol's still normal, but it's creeping up.
So we eat better, exercise, and now we take 1-a-day Cholesterol Plus.
The only complete multivitamin with polycosanol and key nutrients to help maintain healthy cholesterol and blood pressure. 1-a-day Cholesterol Plus.
Now make a 3-inch incision between the 4th and 5th abdominal muscles.
Shouldn't you be doing this?
Making important financial decisions on your own doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones prefers meeting clients face-to-face.
If you have indoor or outdoor allergies, ask your doctor about something different, Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of allergy symptoms. And Singulair is now approved to help relieve both indoor and outdoor allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat indoor and outdoor allergies.
Congress today began looking into the spike in gasoline prices caused by Hurricane Katrina. There's been progress in bringing crippled refineries and oil rigs back online, but gas still costs an average of more than $3 a gallon. An ABC News poll found that 7 in 10 Americans believe the oil companies and gas dealers are taking advantage of the situation to jack up prices. So here's ABC's Betsy Stark with the Price Watch.
The 46-cent history-making spike in gas prices since Katrina struck
I'll tell you, it hurts. It really does.
is raising questions about who's profiting off the pain at the pump.
I think the owner of the companies, whoever is supplying gas, they're the ones making money.
Since Katrina's assault, analysts have more than doubled their forecast for oil industry profits, now expected to be up 54% this year.
Gentleman's recognized for 3 minutes.
At a hearing on gas prices on Capitol Hill today, New York Congressman Elliot Engel said the American people are rightfully mad as hell.
It is absolutely shameful and unconscionable that big oil companies are making profits off people's misery.
The president of the American Petroleum Institute, which represents big oil companies, denies any price gouging by the industry.
Let me be very clear. API and its member companies condemn price gouging.
Katrina's damage to oil rigs and refineries certainly bears some blame for the rise in prices. But more than 40 state attorneys general, now investigating price gouging by the oil industry, say Katrina alone does not explain the numerous cases of overnight price hikes of 50 cents and more.
There was sufficient supply, certainly no shortage to justify the kind of spiraling out of control pace that we saw and the magnitude in price increases.
Gas station owners say don't blame them for the high prices. While there may be a few bad apples out there, most of them are only passing on the high prices charged by the oil companies and refiners. But investigations now underway at the state level are turning up numerous violations of price gouging laws, and prosecutions may follow, maybe fines, even jail time for some of those gas station owners. Charlie.
ABC's Betsy Stark. In Washington today, a private funeral was held for the nation's 16th Chief Justice. A private funeral that still filled one of Washington's largest churches. President Bush cited William Rehnquist's integrity and sense of duty. Others, like Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, spoke of his brilliance and of his humor. His son spoke of his ability to balance family and work. Nobody, he said, smelled more roses than my dad. The 80-year-old died Saturday from cancer, ending his 33-year term on the Supreme Court. And when we come back, keeping the spirit alive, we go back to New Orleans. The people who say they will dance again in the city.
Big people, little people, older people, younger people. All kinds of people need medicines but don't have prescription coverage. It's personal to them, so it's personal to us. That's why we offer help at Pfizer Helpful Answers, with all kinds of programs to help all kinds of people get the Pfizer medicines they need. No matter what your age or income, if you don't have prescription coverage, you can save on Pfizer medicines. You may even get them for free, depending on your income. So call us at 1-866-706-2400 to get personal help. One call for your Pfizer medicine and for your family's medicine. Call Pfizer Helpful Answers at 1-866-706-2400 or visit PfizerHelpfulAnswers.com. Because if you don't have prescription coverage, now one call fits all. Pfizer participates in the Partnership for Prescription Assistance, a way to get help paying for your other medicines.
We seek it out, a miracle food that nourishes the mind and body. We call it the egg.
Exciting news from Allegra. Allegra D 24-hour. Find out what all the excitement's about. Ask your doctor today about Allegra D 24-hour. You need to know about it.
It was really dark. The road was icy.
It was really slippery.
We started swerving.
I thought we were gonna roll over, but we didn't. It stops us swerving and keep the car straight.
Who's gonna help you stay in control?
When things are out of your control.
Someone should.
Introducing the new Brita AquaView, the only filter with a window that lets you see what it takes out of your tap water. One AquaView filter lasts up to 4 months, eliminating 95% of lead, sediment, and chlorine taste from your tap water, day after day after day. It takes out what you don't want to take in. See the difference? The new Brita AquaView, just $39.99 for cleaner water every day. Brita, just add water.
Sadly, arthritis pain can mean the end of life's little pleasures. But not for people who use Aleve. People whose doctors have told them the good news about the strength and safety of Aleve. The good news that only Aleve can stop arthritis pain all day with just 2 pills. That would take 8 Tylenol. Take back the pleasure arthritis pain took away. Ask your doctor about the good news. Ask your doctor about Aleve.
I'm Steve Dunn. Next in the Northwest Only all-local newscast tonight, it is deadly water, and Oregon soldiers are in the thick of it. How they're protecting themselves in New Orleans. Plus, how this could help police find your car, and much more if it's stolen. Next.
Finally tonight, the Big Easy. You may be surprised to know that here in New Orleans, very few natives actually use that expression. Life here is really not that easy, but they sure have a good time. And especially here in the French Quarter, they promise that sometime soon, the good times will roll again. Here's ABC's David Muir.
This is the French Quarter so many Americans are familiar with. Bourbon Street spilling over with revelers. And this is the French Quarter now. When the sun sets on this centuries-old neighborhood, there is no jazz, no drinking, no laughter. Just the quiet footsteps of soldiers with the 82nd Airborne Division. They're here to keep the bad guys out, a familiar assignment for Staff Sergeant Chad Faulkner, but not here.
Haiti, Egypt, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and this is the first time in the United States
that you've patrolled an American city. All is not lost here. Buildings and landmarks, though battered, are still standing. The French Market, Jackson Square, Café du Monde. At Preservation Hall, famous for its jazz, the wooden doors remain closed, and a lone cat keeps watch at the gate where music lovers usually gather. It is eerily quiet here. Might the old New Orleans return? They say it's not a matter of if, but when.
It's survived many crises before.
This part of the city never flooded, and with good reason. When the French built the French Quarter, they did so on the highest ground in the city.
This is my place here.
National Public Radio host Nick Spitzer returned to his Royal Street studio for the first time today. His program, American Roots, celebrates the jazz, the rhythm and blues, and the rock and roll that were born here.
It's all those people and cultures that mix and mingle that have made New Orleans what it is musically and culturally, and without them here, the French Quarter is an empty place.
He suspects it will be months before any of that returns, before these headlines can be replaced.
I can hear it and see it. I can envision it. And I think the first parade they have here, people will be in tears. There'll be tears of joy.
David Muir, ABC News, New Orleans.
The better days will return. There are still a lot of people searching for their loved ones missing still in this hurricane. The Red Cross has a number of resources available to help you find those people, including a toll-free number. I'm going to give it to you now, 877-568-3317. If you didn't have a pen, it's also available on our website at abcnews.com. That's our report for all of us, and Charles Gibson as well here at ABC News. Good night from New Orleans.
Hurricane Katrina, the crisis, the outrage, the outreach. Now, as the country comes together for relief and to rebuild, count on the people of ABC News, morning till night, 24/7, leading the way. This is ABC News. Friday, Shelter from the Storm, a concert for the Gulf Coast.
ABC's Drive to Detroit gets off to a rocking start with NFL opening kickoff 2005, followed by Raiders versus Patriots. Thursday night, 8 Eastern on ABC.
Now on K2 News at 6:30, Danger Zone. More Oregon troops head to troubled waters. How they're protecting themselves from this deadly sludge over New Orleans. Plus, K2 uncovered the story that brought this lawmaker down. Thousands of dollars missing from his campaign. Now we've learned Dan Doyle could go to prison. The criminal charges filed today. And Portland students go back to school, but if you think this year's budget is bad, just wait. Why next year will be worse.
Live from K2, the Northwest only all-local 6:30 newscast with Steve Dunn. And Microcast weather with Rod Hill, K2 and you, the spirit of the Northwest.
Good evening. Thank you very much for being with us. In our top local story, everyone still holding out in New Orleans has been ordered to leave over fears of disease. And right in the middle of it all, hundreds of soldiers from the Northwest. They're helping to evacuate that city. Health officials are concerned about the safety of the floodwaters. Government tests confirm that the amount of sewage...
Foot pain, so I went to the doctor and he diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis and told me to wear my sneakers all the time. So I couldn't wear any of my dress shoes or sandals, but then I went to the Good Feet store and got arch supports, and now I can wear any shoe I want.
Thanks to the Good Feet store, I'm bowling 3 nights a week pain-free.
Hurry into the